Ahoy, dudes and dudettes. This is Athonan, and this is the Daily Grind, and this was DC Legends. Rebirth is live. The, there is already a screen that is listing the upcoming heroic challenges, and Mr. Freeze is going to be the monthly character available for free for the month of March. And we have a Katana Samurai Warrior Heroic Challenge that is going to last 1 week. This is the kind of challenge that you can actually farm to get your characters to Legendary 3, 4, 5, or get your extra shards in case you need them. And there is also Clayface going to be available. And seemingly the developers have kind of very tangentially listened to what we have said during the past week to make charts available for everybody, and they are including the limited special heroic event that requires a restricted list, and apparently this is based off one of the seminal stories from Batman, A Death in the Family. Originally in the comics, that storyline ended up with Jason Todd getting killed by the Joker. Okay, that's the positive things for DC Legends this month. Now, let's go get to the ugly side of this. Rebirth is live. And I decided because mainly it's one of my favorite characters from the comics. He is not very good in this game, but also he was the only character I had available to actually get to Rebirth. When you rebirth your character, you get this neat golden portrait board, and I wasn't able to finish gearing him up to full gear 11 in time. He only has one rebirth, and the mechanics are thus such. Once you get to level 60 and legendary 5, you are able to legendary 6 your character, so to speak, the rebirth mechanic I was talking about in my rant that was over an hour and a half long. This is going to be very much shorter. That these kind of mechanics are not new, and they are not exclusive to DC Legends. They have been around for well over 20 years in gaming, and the first time that I personally saw them was in massively multiplayer online role-playing games, commonly known as RPGs. The first one that I'm aware that had a rebirth mechanic that you can call Rebirth was Ragnarok Online. That was around the year 1999 or 2000, because the game comes from before, like from 1996 or 97, I believe. But it was very limited in its original incarnation. So they added jobs and then branching jobs, and then they added this mechanic where your character will get resetted to level 1 with a bonus to his growth multipliers, and then you had to level that character up again and take all his job changes, and he will end up with the very same job that he had originally, but now the character had access to extra skills. That was a time sink and a money sink, because people were starting to max out their characters and they had pretty much nothing else to do. So they introduced new dungeons that were way too difficult for maxed out characters, and you had to bring in reborn characters that were also maxed out in skills, maxed out in level, and maxed out in gear. Now, these rebirth mechanics are usually introduced in a game when everybody is already maxing out, when the vast majority, or let's pull numbers out of my ass, and let's say that 1/3 of the player base is reaching max level, and they are starting to get bored, and they are starting to leave because they have no incentive to log into the game and perform their daily tasks. Well, DC Legends is not at that point in time yet. Let me leave my cat out. Go. Oh, you want out too? Go. Fuck yourself. Well, so I was saying, because I tend to digress a lot. DC Legends is not at that place because, yes, we have or had many, many whales that were already Legendary 5 in several characters. Let's again pull numbers out of my ass and say that maybe they had half the roster maxed out. Well, I was talking in the ranting video about this thing that this game has been out for 2 years plus one of beta, so this is really a 3 years old game from design to alpha to beta to global release. It's now 3 years old, 2 years effective, 2 and change because the launch was in November and we are already like 4 months old, so almost 2.5 years old. And you cannot say that the vast majority of players are running out of stuff to do because they have maxed out characters. When we have several threads, several posts per day where people are asking for an increase in drops, for materials, for essence, for legendary essence, because the game is very expensive for free players. Even though I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, even though you can bring 2 characters to level 70 and gear 11 per month for free with just the stuff that the game gives you. So if you multiply that for the by the time that gear 11 has been available, which is almost a year, and you started actually gearing up your characters and bringing them to 70, then you should have around, let's say, be conservative, 8 gear 11 characters out of 100. So that's not even 10% for the free players. So let's say that the whales have 50% of the roster, around 55 characters. I have lost count of how many characters we have. We have way too many that are not well developed, and that's a problem. But that's a discussion for another video. Let's keep this into Rebirth. It's not bad that it asks for Legendary 5 for characters, but the cost involved in rebirthing a character, the first Legendary 6, let's call that, just so I can stop saying Rebirth. I'm starting to hate that word. I don't like the Rebirth brand for DC Comics, but I digress. Legendary 6. Legendary 6 costs 10 tokens, this, that we have yet to know how to get them, and they're probably going to sell them for real money or for an extortion level of gold. That's not a problem, that's only 10, and it seems like it's always going to be 10 crystals per rebirth. The problem lies that the Legendary 6 asks for 410 shards. This game has never encouraged anybody to go even Legendary 5. And even if you go Legendary 5, let's suppose that you never bought any kind of a package at the store, or that you were Legendary 5 and 290 shards, so you were 20 short and you bought a 100 shard package for 8,000 gold, and now you have Legendary 5 and 80 extra shards. Well, now you only need to get another 340 to get to Legendary 6. I was talking in my ranting video that if they really intend people to do this, I'm okay not having Legendary 10 on the first day. That's a given. So some people have Batman the Dark Knight available to do that because he used to be the only PvP reward for clearing boards, and some people just got insane amounts of those shards. But that was not everybody, because not everybody used to PvP very heavily. Now, we have the commons like Lex Luthor Survival Suit, who has had heroic challenges, has had PvP weeks. He is available to be farmed from the heroic nodes, and he has been made available in the common PvP drops from the PvP packs. I have been farming him for almost a year since he was introduced back into the PvP prices, and I was only able to bring him to Legendary 6. So maybe if I keep farming him, I will be able to go to Legendary 7 in maybe 3 months, give or take, supposing that they don't take him out of the PvP packs and I have to exclusively buy the 350 tokens package, and I get very lucky because I tried to farm Yellow Lantern Sinestro for a longer time, and he's only capable of going to Legendary 4 right now. So I cannot rebirth him. And other characters that have been widely available, that have been given away basically for free. Now I have to farm Captain Cold. I was happy to bring him to Legendary 5 because he's one of my favorite characters, and now the Rebirth is going to take forever because he's only available on red alerts, and you can only get like 45 or maybe 57 shards because it changes from month to month. So it's going to be 8 months if I decide to bring Captain Cold to Legendary 6. So can you see how this is a problem? The Rebirth mechanic, like it was introduced, would work if everybody was swimming in shards. Like you only had to get your purple essence to go Legendary 5 and then start going Legendary 6, Legendary 7 and whatever. That only works if there is an excess of shards that nobody has anything to use them, that they have no use. That's the point where you introduce Rebirth or Awakening or Reincarnation or however you want to call it. That's when you introduce a mechanic like that. Now, if they had warned us like maybe 6 months ago, well, start getting shards because we are going to get this type of mechanic. So if you can get to Legendary 5, start getting even more shards if they are available, because what most people do, I have stopped doing red alerts for like 6 or 7 months because it's really a waste of my time. It's no longer interesting. I have the characters that you get from red alert, or well, the ones that I want, I have them Legendary 5 already, like well, I'm missing Killer Frost, but this is the thing, the game has never encouraged you to go Legendary 5 because you get punished from getting too much power, and some of the upgrades are meaningless, and there is nothing that actually requires you to get your character to Legendary 5 that has any meaningful impact on your gameplay. Like if there were raid bosses and they were so difficult that you needed the extra stats from Legendary 5 to tackle them, or had them as a requirement to maybe get gold or to maybe get paywall characters or some other stuff that other games introduce first, and they are doing this backwards. Like, yeah, I have this one Legendary 5, everybody has Cyborg up through the nose and Hal Jordan up through the nose. Everybody has these kind of characters, but who is using them? Who is going to use them? Because let me tell you that Lex Luthor is not a crappy tomb, but he's very limited on PvP and on PvE because there are many characters that have better gear sets and have better skills. And he is only missing 2 gear 11 slots. And he's already level 70, and I have maxed out his damage moves. Metahuman, Deterrent, Enhanced Free Security. Maxed out. He still cannot one-shot a gear 11 character that is not Rebirth. He's got a 10% increase on his crappy stats, so he is still a very crappy character. Now, with the kind of resources that I have sunk into this character right now, I would expect to get a very nice power boost. Even though Lex Luthor has one of the lowest power scores for level 70 and gear 11. Now, why am I saying that he cannot one-shot characters at same gear? Because other characters are able to. And even though he has almost 300% critical damage, and if you put him under a Deadshot Hiregun leader, he is still unable to bring his damage up, even though he is rebirthed. So now probably some guy is gonna say, well, you shouldn't expect Legendary 6 to be that much of an advantage. Well, it's a lot of resources sunk into a character, so where's the payoff? So now I have to bring him to full Rebirth 5 before he's able to really overpower and to really shine. And guess what? If he runs into any single blue, because I have had him killed by Dr. Fates that are gear 10. That's just how crappy Lex Luthor is, even with the gear advantage and the legendary advantage. So there is really nothing else except the golden portrait, and to be quite honest, it should be much cheaper if they weren't going to give a big power boost. So what is going to happen is that the characters that are already broken, they are going to become even more broken. So instead of having a meta shift from introducing characters that are not currently on the meta, but with an advantage on the stats, because there are going to be like 3 or 4 people that have the extra shards. And I just saw hate mail featuring a Starfire Rebirth. How did he get so many shards? I don't know, nor do I care. Whatever. He was able to rebirth one of the most powerful characters in the game. That doesn't see a lot of play because there is Wonder Girl Cassie. Well, Wonder Girl Cassie is still going to be able to one-shot Starfire, even if she is rebirthed. So you cannot change the meta that way. The meta hasn't changed and is not going to change this way. So really, what was the point? Because if it's this, the skin change button that I'm showing you again, just so you see how it works, then why should I bother getting a character to Legendary 5 and spend God knows how many? It's actually 4,200 gold to get the 100,000 purple essence to get to Legendary 5. So why should I bother? Why should anybody bother? And the problem remains the same. The game doesn't incentivize maxing out your character because it's easier, it's cheaper to be lazy and to be a loser and stay low gear and stay low level and stay low legendary and pester other people around for what's the build order. And is this character worth it? Well, guess what? The answer is no character is worth it unless it's meta on the PvP. Especially after this. It's pointless to keep playing. It's a sad reality, but it's a fact. That's all there is to it. This is just a money sink when people don't have excess of money. I know a lot of you think that because you have 30 or 40 million stored in your account and maybe you have never bought shards because you're only waiting for a special package and you never spend on gearing your characters and you never spend on buying any other stuff that is not shards through the store. Maybe you think you're rich because you have, I don't know, 50,000 gold is nothing. And the developers refuse to introduce game modes, refuse to introduce content. They have said that they are going to introduce new content right now, but no details are available. But if it's going to be such a letdown like Rebirth, well, I can tell you that this game is going to die because it has absolutely nothing to offer except the collecting side, and there really isn't a point. I mean, what are you playing for? This was nice 2 years ago because there weren't other DC games. Injustice 2 came out, that's a fighting game, but there were no games of strategy or that were called more RPG. I mean, I would welcome DC Online if it came in a reduced form to mobile. I play that game a lot. I even bought a couple of months of rent. I lost interest because it was very weird to get your characters because you were playing an archetype but you never were really able to play a DC character. So I'm digressing again. But now seriously, is that all for this game? All you have to do is log in every month, and you know what? I'm not even going to bother anymore to get to Legendary 4 for the monthly characters. Because you can get Legendary 3 for free if you play the whole event twice. So a single day on the first week and a single day on the second week, and you get Legendary 3 for free. Why should I bother to get to Legendary 4? I mean, to do PvP? To do PvP against bots? I would like to hear your opinions, guys, because I know there has been a recent wave of DC Legends apologists, like everything is fine and we should be understanding of the devs because programming is hard. Yeah, I know programming is hard. That's not for everybody. It involves a lot of heavy mathematics and logical thinking and abstract design. That shit's hard. I know that. I understand that. But the fact is, this game hasn't improved in 2 years, and a lot of us were willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because there was nothing like it. But guess what? Now there are many games like this one. I just uploaded a video of a game that, yeah, maybe it's not for everybody in the United States, but believe me, everybody else in the rest of the world is playing that thing. Because that franchise of Knights of the Zodiac has been going for 30 years and it's keeping strong. And it has gotten several anime releases with new parts of the story, some canon, some not canon, but seriously, are you going to argue against what is canon and not canon on a game based off a medium, which is graphic novels, sequential art, comic books, that is famous? The United Statistician side of comic books is famous for throwing continuity out of the window at the drop of a hat. whatever you knew 20 years ago is no longer valid. Peter Parker sold his marriage to the devil, and suddenly the Superman that you have been following is a Superman from another Earth, and Lex Luthor is now a superhero, and he's going evil. And I don't know. It's been like 3 years since I last actually read a comic book because I got fed up with that. I tried following the Flash. I'm a fan of the Flash, and seriously, I prefer to live off my childhood memories when Barry Allen died saving the universe, the multiverse. So yeah, guys, this doesn't look good for the future. Because maybe you enjoy, if you are one of those guys that enjoy staying low and you have never played any other game that is actually competitive, because this one is a joke. Let me tell you, it's a joke that you can just keep buying energy and keep doing fights, and even if you have like a 20% victory percentage, you're going to be able to score high. As long as you have deep pockets, you can score that world's greatest or world's finest, whatever it's called here, number one spot. And the strategy is very reduced. And some people say that I'm salty because I have never scored top 100. Well, I wanted to have a varied roster maxed out. And this game is making that impossible because it's actually punishing me for doing that. And the meta game always revolves around a single team. Now it's varied, so to speak, because it's actually two different teams and the counter team. That's the meta. And it's like 7 characters total between 3 teams out of 100. That's a really crappy meta game. That's like if you were playing chess and you only played the rooks, and the rooks fucked everybody, and doesn't matter that you have a varied army. I can just field 2 rooks and I'm going to fuck you up. That's not how games should work if they have some sort of strategy. Yeah, I get it that there is always one certain strategy that works more efficiently than the rest. But usually in a very good game, in a game that is well designed, that strategy involves a modicum of a skill. Like you have to time your attacks a certain way. You have to equip certain stuff that allows you to perform the tactics as required. This game is point and click, guys. Please. Seriously. I'm going to close this video right now, but just like I said in my previous rant, I don't want this game to fail. And not because I have been playing it for 2 years. I still believe this game has potential. I still believe this game could be big. But maybe it's just a tax write-off. Like they are losing money on purpose. And some guy, sorry if I don't remember your nickname, because I don't want to be rude and it's not a burn. It's this thing, like, don't be a hipster. It's not about, well, that game is more popular, so I don't like it. I like that this game is not popular. This game has no substance. And the second this game loses, I bet it's just like 50 guys who are still spending hard in this game. But once they lose those 50 guys, it's over. It's over because this game is a single server. And it has maybe, I don't know, the last time we checked, we were like 8,000 active players. and that was a year ago. So maybe we are right now like 5,000. I mean, Battlefield 1942 has more players than we do, and that's a game that's over a decade old. Battlefield 3 has more players than we do. Counter-Strike has more players than we do. Injustice 2, Injustice 1, Mortal Kombat X on mobile have more players than we do. Like, I think this game has like 3 million downloads. And you might think, well, that's a lot. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 10 million downloads. What counts is the active player base. Like, when was the last time that you actually felt challenged on PvP in this game? And maybe you're doing well right now, because let me tell you, a lot of us veterans are just not playing anymore because it's boring. It's boring facing the same teams all the time, because the game punishes you from being high gear and high level, because it throws teams at you that are meta, because when you get gear 11, pretty much the whole gear 11 player base is playing the meta, it's chasing the meta. So it's going to be Atrocitus and Wonder Girl, and the other one is going to be Batgirl and Mad Jester and Wonder Girl. And you face that all day long, every day, without change. So it's just not fun anymore. It's pointless. Now I have to farm. Well, let me farm. I just want to rebirth Bane. Like, seriously guys, this thing should be already 100% chance of getting a shard in this in heroics. Because even if you farmed all the nodes for, it doesn't let me look for shards anymore. For fuck's sake. Well, I can do that here, but I can only buy them. Fine. Alright, so if it was 100% chance to get the shards, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 shards per day. So if I dedicated exclusively to farm Bane shards for a month at 100%, I will have enough to get to Rebirth 1. Then I will have to farm for 2 months to get to Rebirth 2. And just like I said, I told to this guy, that wouldn't be a problem if it took 2 years to max out the character. That wouldn't be a problem if farming those shards was even remotely interesting. But it's not. Because here, let's do this. Because I don't even give a damn anymore. I'm going to burn all my gold and do whatever. Here's how you farm shards. That's what the Speedforce is for. Super compelling gameplay. God, I wonder where else I could do this. The Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has a mechanic where you can also only farm 3 times from a heroic node. But it has a button where it asks of you, do you want to run the 3 runs at once and use 3 Speedforce or speed whatever? Because that's not exclusive for DC Legends. They didn't invent Speedforce. the mechanic to play automatically, to roll the dice automatically, is not exclusive of DC Legends. I just shown you in my other rant video that the other game I'm playing has something like this where you farm for gear, and since the guys that just started last week are not going to be able to farm the last levels consistently, they added a button that basically does all your dailies at once automatically, and it doesn't even ask for a token. No, you get that for free because you have to be able to farm other stuff. So instead of taking 4 hours to grind and grind and grind and grind, it says, oh well, we are going to assume that you got these prices, so you can start gearing up your character, so you can actually start competing on PvP right away. And it's still going to take you like 2 or 3 months to get your characters to max level, but they give you the gear for free, so you don't get bored of your ass. Like, do you seriously think that a guy like me who has been playing for 2 years, and I already Speedforce as much as I can, because the gameplay for the story mode is just not interesting, and yes, I said I was just going to close the video, but this is seriously making me mad. Because come on guys, it's been 2 years. When it was 6 months in that they were still getting their feet wet, they hadn't even decided yet on how heroic challenges were going to be and how they were going to give you shards. There was a reason getting your shards was slow, because there was no content. It took several people, the great majority of people took around 6 months to finish the storyline, because it was way too hard back then, because we didn't know, because they kept changing the drops and the way the event materials were played. They changed the first time, like 2 months in, they changed it to something weird, and then they changed it back to how it is right now. And then it has stayed that way. But Gear 10 used to be thought of as impossible. Like, it's too expensive to get to Gear 10. You can get to Gear 10 in less than 3 weeks. And you don't even have to use a lot of gold to do that. But it's very time consuming, and it's very, very boring, because this game seemingly has something against you, like 25 Speedforce to get legendary essence. Like, this was a prestige thing 2 years in. Like, instead of making everything easier so the newer players can start competing on even grounds sooner, they make stuff harder for everybody, so everybody is miserable. Like, I'm already at a point in time where I can almost guarantee to finish the heroic challenge on the first day, fully, completely, and 3-starring if I feel like it. But you get no extra prizes from doing that. You get no extra drops. There is not a prize for finishing under a certain time limit. There is just no incentive. You don't even get anything for bragging rights. Like those guys that finish the heroic challenges on Gear 8 and Gear 9 teams, even though they are Legendary 4 or Legendary 5, and they take 2 hours to finish a single node, because they also have to bet that the random number generator is going to favor them. If they don't film that and they don't put it on YouTube, how can they prove that they did it? You get nothing for show. You get nothing to show for this game. Like other games, they give you some kind of marker to say where you go to Legendary 5 on February 20th, 2018. So you know how long that person took to legendary his character, to max out his character. But we don't have anything like that here. So it's pointless. When did I get my Bane to Legendary 5? I can tell you that I got it on the first month. How can you know? Like, not to show off to other guys. Like, for you to remember when you actually unlock the character. You don't know. There's no difference between the character that you get from farming and the character that you bought on the store. So if you have a Legendary 5 Batman Beyond, you can say, oh, well, I finished the event. Oh, yeah. And how come you don't have the paywall character for that month unlocked? And stuff like that. I mean, it's stupid. The rebirth in this game is stupid and doesn't make sense, and it's just way too convoluted, way too complicated, and I really don't have high hopes for the so-called new content that they are going to drop. And it's not me being pessimistic, it's just analyzing the behavior of this game in the past, and they have always managed to bring people down on their expectations. Like, it's not even that we set the bar too high or that we have high hopes. No, like after the third born in this game, you start waiting for the minimum and they still let you down. And before this gets to an hour-long video, because really it's just going to be going in circles, pointing out all the flaws that this mechanic has right now, not in the future. It's no longer about, well, it could go wrong this or that way. It didn't take even a day after I made my ranting video, and they already fucked up. So again, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or anything like that, because this is exclusively for the DC Legends users from the Reddit forums. We have to really start looking for another game. This is not going to improve. Maybe they will shut my mouth and they are really going to increase drops across the board. Like, seriously, this game needs big increases in drops, both from shards, for essence, for purple essences. This is practically the only game in the entire marketplace that doesn't give you free energy during the day. And it has been 2 years. So let that sink in. And I'm gonna tell you goodbye. I'm gonna keep uploading footage to my channel, but from the other games I'm playing. I'm really just about to quit this game. I seriously don't think it's going to improve. And I really want this game to succeed, but they are doing like everything wrong. They are doing everything wrong. They are not threading. They are not trailblazing anything. Seriously, it's hard. It looks. It sounds wrong. It sounds like an insult. But seriously, guys, you are not innovators. You are not doing anything new. Anything. Not one thing in this game is new. So please, please swallow pride. There are other ways to monetize this thing. If you have to resort to ads, it will be a kick in the balls, but that will be better. like give energy if you see ads or something. I don't know what kind of politics Warner Brothers has for the license, because DC Unchained also has no ads of any kind. But think of something like really the player base is going to understand if you take 2 or 3 months without releasing new tunes, but you start working on the actual game mechanics, and you are going to piss somebody off. It's inevitable. If you start giving everything away for free, or you give more stuff for less money, you're going to piss off the previous whales. But maybe you are going to get some other people to start spending money. And if you make everything more difficult, so you have to... What you shouldn't do is make everything so difficult that you have to actually start sinking money just to play. Because that's going to make everybody go away. But you have to make it worth your while as a player to sink time into this fucking thing, because right now it's not doing the players any favors. I have said that in the past and I repeat it again. I'm only playing this game because playing it takes like 20 minutes tops. So it gives me enough time to do other stuff. And at a certain point in time, a year ago or so, I was playing 3 accounts at the same time, because I had no other game to play. And I can show you those accounts, and they are gear 10 and they have legendary characters. So it's not like I made throwaway accounts. In fact, my second account at that time was able to rank higher on PvP than my main account, just because of the change in characters that I made. And I still didn't chase the meta. But now I have other games I'm playing, and I usually don't bring that up on the Reddit forums, just out of respect, that to keep everything on topic. But we have come at this point in time where this is no longer sustainable. Like, I like the characters, I like the base mechanics, but it already needs something else. And this thing that you just introduced is not working. It's not going to work, and it's not going to make anybody stay. Because nobody says, oh yeah, I want to spend 3 hours farming shards. That 33%, that it's a godsend. They should lower it so it takes longer to get the shards. Nobody's saying that, guys. Seriously. I don't know what you're seeing in your telemetry and your data analysis. I don't know how it's showing up. But people don't enjoy farming for shards. Like, this is cool. This is cool that you brought the rework and a character that it's actually useful for heroic challenges. But you know what? Make everything cheaper. Like, why has the last node to be 40 energy or 35 energy? Reduce the number of nodes. Increase the number of shards that you are able to get. The guaranteed shards, like maybe 5 shards guaranteed for the node. Make it more difficult, so people have to actually start getting up, that you have to actually go to Legendary 5. Make it easier to get to Legendary 5, and then we get the Rebirth. Like, currently you can get 1100 shards from the monthly event. Make it 2000. Make it 1500, I don't know. Something above what you have been given. Because yeah, I'm a guy who has been playing for 2 years. I can finish that. I can go to Legendary 5 if I want to. But you have never incentivized me doing that. There is never any prize. Like other games, when you max out a character, hey, here, have some stuff, have some gold, have an extra skin, have a materials for another character, extra shards for another character that you like. Here, have some PD bullshit. We're going to give you a medal for maxing out your character. There's nothing here that encourages me or anybody to go to Legendary 5. Fix that. Like, it's just an stat increase that is meaningless in a golden portrait. That's not incentive enough. And yeah, even you guys, you can say, well, maybe if you don't like it, leave. I have told you countless times that when I get fed up with the game, I'm just gonna leave, and I'm not gonna be doing oh guys, I'm gonna leave the game because it's getting bored. I'm just gonna disappear. This game still has potential, but you know what? I'm not going to beg. Like, I have lost way more time in shittier games that were fun. Like for Battlefield 2, I have that's not shitty. That was not a crappy game, but I have like 5 or 6,000 hours sunk on Battlefield 2 and like 2,600 hours sunk on Battlefield 3 for PC. And I never counted the hours. I know this because it's on my Origin profile. And I like Origin, by the way. But maybe, I don't know, the original Resident Evil on PlayStation and Symphony of the Night, I may have accrued over 10,000 hours in those games. I play them so much. So, yeah, you think like the 500 hours I have sunk into this DC Legends game is going to make me lose sleep? Certainly not. Like, whatever. And if it weren't tied to my personal Gmail account, I would even give away my account for free. In fact, there is one that has some gold that if I drop this game, I'm gonna give that away. So I'm gonna get the Mr. Freeze Legendary 2 on that account, and if I leave this game, I'm gonna give that account away to a newbie. Just so you know. Well, anyways, we'll meet again the next time, hopefully. And this game forces you to keep grinding on, so whatever. See ya.